focus solely on esports. I'm a graduate from the University of Northampton, and I've got to say I probably have one of the best jobs in the world. I get to research something that I'm really passionate about. I've been working in this field for a relatively long time, and also quite recently in terms of the academic side. I'm going to explain my journey from professional player at the time to being academic and what I've done within Northampton and what I plan to continue to do in Northampton. So I sort of moved through the arcade academic because of the fact that my journey is pretty much from an arcade all the way through to being a renowned academic within this field. I currently am working on the leading journal for esports. So my journey kind of started off relatively...
Sorry, Cameron. Yep. You're breaking up a little bit on our side. Is your Wi-Fi, have you got a strong signal there? Or?
Yeah, no, I've got a strong signal. I don't know why it's breaking up.
Yeah, not sure. Screen's okay, but just the voice just keeps breaking.
Shall I quickly just check my volume and check everything's working?
Yeah, it just goes a little bit garbled as if it's breaking something.
How about now? Is that better?
Yep, that's great.
Okay, so my journey started off when I was about 15, and it started off as a non-traditional esports journey. So I started playing Magic the Gathering, which is the biggest card game in the world. I first started playing this in my local game shop, and I worked out that I was pretty good at it. I was winning very small local tournaments, and then I decided to go and see how good I was in comparison to my national level. So I went to three national competitions where I placed top 5 in all 3 at 15 and qualified for the World Championships to represent Wales, which is my home country. I didn't actually attend that one because I was too young at the time to play at a national level. And then I started working towards making sure that I was qualified for that in advance by going to more tournaments. I then did that for about 1.5 years, 2 years, and then I went off to University in Manchester. I decided to focus more on traditional sport and go back to playing rugby, because at the same time as playing Magic, I was also playing semi-professional rugby league with the Welsh under-20 squad. And then I decided to drop out of Manchester because it wasn't where I wanted to be. The classes were too big. I found that I was not taken particularly seriously. I was academically struggling, being that far away from home, and I also struggled with the fact that I was quite immature for my age because I have Asperger's, and that was something that I really struggled with, being that far away from home. I didn't feel like I had the support network that I really wanted. I then chose to come to the University of Northampton. I got everything that I needed in terms of that. I had smaller classes, I had the support network that I needed, I was getting the teaching which I wanted, the more practical based teaching. And then I sort of really got involved with our student union at the university. I was president of about 5 or 6 different societies by my 2nd year. And I was really heavily involved in terms of making sure that students are getting involved in stuff on campus, because although I still live 3 hours away from home, I was able to build my home to be in Northampton. So let's talk about how I sort of took that big step into the world of esports, from being from playing card games over to being a player, a big player in terms of the academic side. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. In the world that changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risk. Mark Zuckerberg. This is so applicable to esports, it's actually frightening. Esports has been growing every year by at least 10% annually. Most of the time it's around 25-20% over the last 10 years. And the industry is constantly growing. And it's getting a huge amount of investment. And COVID, if anything, is actually increase that investment, because traditional sports can't play or couldn't play for the first 3 months of it. I took a risk by doing what I did, and I'll explain what risks I took and how I measured it. So my first degree was actually in accounting and sports studies. So I got taught by a Scots department, and I also got taught in accounting. I chose this because I thought it was going to be a safe degree and I could go into accounting. I've never actually used my accounting degree, and I'll explain why I've got to this sort of stage shortly. We were one of the last universities to actually set up an esports society. We had one for a couple of years originally, but they never actually played a game. And they sort of were just behind the scenes. I think we had like 2 or 3 people who were playing different competitions, but they weren't really coinciding. I got asked, because I was a high member of the Student Union, to build an esports team for our first ever society varsity. I got given a 2-week deadline. And I found 55 players in 2 weeks to come and play for the university. We lost varsity 5-1, but we ran the tournament from my student house's basement, and it was highly successful, and we built the esports society off that. In our first year of actually properly recruiting, we had over 100 members join our society. I think now it's around about 250. And we became a top 8 national team within the first year of playing League of Legends. We did this on a £0 budget, and we did this without any training rooms or etc. Play to academic was an extremely learning process. I am not a natural academic. I would never say that I naturally am. I like practical skills, and I like learning from practical experiences. Esports has been growing rapidly, and I wanted to make sure that I knew exactly what was going on in the esports industry at any one time. So I really expanded my network. I've got about 13,000 contacts in the esports industry across the globe, from grassroots all the way over to professional teams, CEOs of organizations. And I want to make sure when I was doing that I was really prepared. And I've got really good contacts with those people because of that. Knowledge is brought from experience, and that's something that the university is really trying to embed within the degree that we're looking at, the building, is students will get first-hand experiences from the esports industry, and academics need to grow their knowledge of the sector to match the needs of the professionals. That's something that we've been really working hard on. We've been trying to reach out to as many people as possible. I've talked to the CEO of M&M, which is a big organisation within esports. I've spoken to Kieran, who's the CEO of XL Esports. I've spoken to people who are Misfits, Fanatics, etc. So there's all these different professionals, and I've been looking at different areas as well. So we've been looking at how to build that virtual pitch. So where am I now? I currently am studying for a PhD in esports. I got a full scholarship and studentship provided by the Open University based on that. And I'm broad in the esports industry. So I do a lot of keynote speaking opportunities to different industries. So I did a keynote speak last year in Brighton to the hospitality and events industry. And now I'm also an associate lecturer at the University of Northampton, which I started doing guest lectures when I was 21. I'm now 24, and I'm getting really heavily involved in developing this course. I don't know how well this video is going to play, so I'm going to play it, and if it's not very well, there will be a link sent by Richard in the background. But this is an event that I organised in my master's course at the University of Northampton, and I did this on a £0 budget. And it was our esports varsity. We had roughly a concurrent viewership of around about 150 and a max viewership around about 1,000 for an event, which we did, in short, to really raise what esports could be in Northampton in terms of our student demographic. So I got 24 students to help me run and organise this, which was highly stressful because I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning sweating, but it was going to go terribly wrong. The video created there was actually is now done by one of our graduates who's left. He was one of my best friends at university. He now works for the WWE in video production, and I helped him develop his portfolio with this as being on their focus. It was really successful. It got a lot of attention within the university, and I hope it sort of put me in the highlight of what's going on in terms of esports. I would say that is one of the smaller things what I want to be doing. Looking forward, do I have another slide now? I do. esports in Europe and beyond. I want to make sure that Northampton is the heart of the country for European esports, which means that we are smack bang in the middle of the country. We have a really good sporting pedigree, and we've got a really, really good level of players coming through Northampton at the university, Northampton College, who I've also worked with, and also developing a esports degree here, which attracts students from across the globe, as players, as well as people who want to be professionals, because I really want to make sure that Northampton is the hub for esports within Europe. We want to make sure that we provide quality research and support for our esports business partners. That's something that me and Scott and the rest of the university team are trying to work with Northampton Town Football Club, the Saints, and the other big partners who are wanting to work within the industry of esports in Northampton. We want to make sure that our students are industry ready. The whole point of our team being quite young when it comes to this esports degree is the fact that we make sure that we're learning a huge amount from it. And we want to make sure that our team's a high quality team playing at a highly competitive level. We want students to have the opportunity to play as much as they want to, but we also want to make sure that if students are doing well or exceptional, that they get to have those opportunities to play in the UK LEC, playing World Championships if they are good enough. And they also have the opportunity to play at a lower level if they just want to play for fun. This is the goal and the aims of the University of Northampton in this degree. Within the next 5 years, I hope that this degree is running perfectly and I can get a Netflix series highlighting how good we are, because generally I think this is probably going to be the best degree possible. It definitely is, in my opinion, miles ahead of our competition. And it also provides a great opportunity for students to really get their teeth stuck into the esports industry. Any questions?
Brilliant, Cameron. Very high ambitions there then for Northampton to be at the heart of European esports.
Yeah, I fully believe it.
Great. I think what we'll do is we'll just encourage questions now for the whole end panel. So thanks very much for those slides, Cameron. If you're okay to stop sharing your screen there.